$1,000 split three ways across the right Fidelity funds generates $83 a year in dividend income, automatically without you doing a single additional thing. That is not life-changing money yet. But reinvested consistently over 10 years, that same $1,000 compounds into something that pays you over $340 every single year forever, whether you work that year or not. That gap, from 83 to 340, is the story this video is actually about. Here is what that number means in real life. Picture this. It is a Sunday evening. You just checked your bank account before the week starts, the way you always do, the way most people do, quietly, a little nervous about what you're going to find. The balance is fine. It is not a crisis. But it is all earned. Every single dollar in that account came from your time. Hours traded, commute suffered, energy spent. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you know the uncomfortable truth. If you stop showing up tomorrow, it all stops too. That feeling is not a money problem. It is a structure problem. You have built income, but you have not built an asset that pays you back. And the scary part is that most people never realize there is a difference until they are deep into a career, wondering why the financial pressure never really goes away no matter how much they earn. What we are doing in this video is solving that structure problem, starting with just $1,000. I am going to show you three specific Fidelity funds, why each one earns its place in this combination, and exactly what the math looks like at year 1, year 5, and year 10. Not as an exercise, as a real blueprint for turning a small starting amount into a cash flow system that begins working the moment you hit buy. If you leave before the end, you will miss the third fund, because that is the one most beginners overlook, and it is the one that changes the long-term trajectory of the entire portfolio. Stay with me. If you want the specific funds I break down here, the ones that pay monthly or quarterly income you can actually track, I cover that kind of detail every few days on this channel. Subscribe so you do not miss the next breakdown. Before I show you the funds, I want to plant a question in your mind that I will come back to later. Of these three Fidelity positions, one of them is almost completely invisible in beginner circles. It barely trends. Almost nobody talks about it. And yet when you run the 10-year compounding numbers, it outperforms the one most beginners rush toward first. Hold that thought. Let me introduce you to Marcus. Marcus is 31 years old. He has a decent job in logistics, makes decent money, and has about $1,000 sitting in a savings account that he has been meaning to do something with for the better part of 8 months. He has heard about dividend investing. He has watched a few videos. But every time he goes to actually make a move, the options feel overwhelming and he ends up doing nothing. Marcus is not careless. He is not irresponsible. He is just caught in the gap between knowing something is the right move and actually understanding it clearly enough to act. That gap is exactly what this video is designed to close. Let us talk about why Fidelity specifically. Not because it is the only platform. It is not. But because for a beginner investor starting with $1,000, the combination of zero commission trading, access to fractional shares, and a lineup of genuinely excellent dividend-focused funds makes it one of the most beginner-accessible entry points available. You can put every dollar to work from day one. No minimum barrier stopping you. No partial investment forced by round lot requirements. That matters more than most people realize when you are starting with a small amount. Because the math only works if all $1,000 are deployed in compounding, not sitting on the sideline because a single share was priced too high. That is the infrastructure point. Here is where it actually gets interesting, because the first fund I want to show you is not what you might expect. Fund number 1 is FXAIX, Fidelity's S&P 500 Index Fund. And yes, I know what you might be thinking. That is not a dividend fund. That is just the index. Stay with me, because this is a foundational move that most beginner investors miss, and understanding why it belongs here is the whole architecture of the strategy. FXAIX carries one of the lowest expense ratios in the entire mutual fund world, effectively 0.015% annually. That means on a $330 allocation, roughly one-third of your $1,000, you are paying essentially nothing in fees. Nothing. Over 10 years, that fee difference versus a higher cost fund compounds into real dollars that stay in your pocket. But here's the dividend angle. The S&P 500 pays a dividend yield of approximately 1.3 to 1.5% annually depending on the year. On a $330 position, that is roughly $4 to $5 per year in dividends. That sounds small, and in year one, it is. But what FXAIX actually contributes to this combination is not yield, it is total return. It is the growth engine that makes your dividend income worth more over time, because as the underlying fund grows in value, the dollar amount of even a modest yield percentage grows with it. This is the piece Marcus was missing. He thought dividend investing meant finding the highest yield and pouring everything into it. He did not understand that a portfolio without growth underneath it slowly loses real purchasing power, even while it pays you. Fund 1 is the foundation, but foundation alone does not pay your bills. That is where Fund 2 earns its place, and this one is where the income actually starts showing up. Fund number 2 is FDVV, Fidelity High Dividend ETF. This is the income engine of the portfolio. FDVV targets companies with high dividend yields and strong free cash flow, which means it is designed specifically to screen for businesses that can sustain their payouts, not just offer them temporarily to attract investors. Current yield on FDVV sits in the range of 3.5 to 4% annually. On a $330 allocation, that is approximately $11 to $13 per year in dividend income from this position alone. It pays quarterly. It holds names you would recognize: major financials, energy companies, established consumer brands, but wrapped in a diversified structure so you're not betting on any single stock. Here's where I want you to pause for a second and honestly assess where you are right now. Not on paper, in your actual financial life. Are you in stage 1, where your income is entirely earned, no assets paying you, and a missed paycheck would be an emergency? Or are you in stage 2, where you have started building some savings but they are sitting in a bank account earning almost nothing, not working for you at all? Or are you in stage 3, where some of your money is already deployed in dividend assets and you are focused on accelerating? Hold your answer, because the move you make with $1,000 looks slightly different depending on where you are. And I will come back to that distinction before this video ends. Most beginners stop at 2 funds. They find a growth fund and an income fund and call it done. But there is a critical structural gap that both of those funds leave open, and Fund 3 is what closes it. Fund number 3, and this is the one almost nobody in beginner circles talks about, is FRIFX, Fidelity Real Estate Income Fund. And I want to explain why this earns a place in a $1,000 starter portfolio, because it is not obvious at first glance. FRIFX focuses on real estate investment trusts, REITs, and real estate-related income assets. The current yield lands in the range of 4 to 5% annually, and it tends to pay more consistently than pure equity funds because the underlying businesses, commercial real estate, residential portfolios, infrastructure assets, are contractually obligated to distribute the majority of their income. On a $340 allocation, the last third of your $1,000, FRIFX generates approximately $14 to $17 per year in dividend income. But more importantly, it provides something that neither FXAIX nor FDVV fully provides: correlation independence. Real estate income does not always move in perfect sync with the stock market. When equities have a rough quarter, real estate income assets sometimes hold steady. That diversification at the income layer is what makes this combination more resilient than a 2-fund setup, and more beginner-friendly, because it means your cash flow does not crater every time markets have a bad month. Think about what Marcus was doing before any of this. He had $1,000 sitting in a savings account, earning maybe 0.5%, half a percent. That account was paying him $5 a year. $5. And that $5 was fully taxed as ordinary income, losing him even more of the value. The shift we are describing is not complicated. It is not risky in any extreme way. It is the difference between $5 a year and $83 a year, and then watching that 83 grow through reinvestment into something that actually starts mattering. Marcus thought investing was for people with more money. What he discovered is that it is for people willing to restructure the money they already have. Here is the part of this conversation that most beginner videos skip, because it requires showing you not just year one, but what happens when you keep reinvesting every single dividend you receive and let compounding build the acceleration. Year one, your combined yield across all three funds, weighted across the portfolio, runs approximately 3 to 3.5% on $1,000. That is roughly $30 to $35 in total dividend income in the first 12 months. Add in moderate price appreciation from FXAIX, and your total return pushes the portfolio toward $1,100 to $1,150 in value by end of year one. Year three, assuming you reinvest all dividends and contribute nothing additional, the portfolio has grown to approximately $1,380. Your annual dividend income has climbed to approximately $48. The yield on your original investment, what investors call yield on cost, has grown even as the stated yield on each fund stays the same, because you own more shares. Year 5, the picture starts to shift more noticeably. Portfolio value around $1,650. Annual dividend income now roughly $58 to $60. That is income that did not require a single extra dollar from your paycheck. By year 10, reinvesting everything, contributing nothing additional beyond the original $1,000, this portfolio reaches approximately $2,200 to $2,300 in total value. And here is the number that matters most. The annual dividend income from that position now runs between $78 and $90 per year on $1,000 invested, without adding another cent. Now here's the real version of this strategy. Because $1,000 is the entry point, it is not the ceiling. The people who use this framework as a starting position and then add even $50 or $100 per month, Marcus, once he understood this, see a completely different trajectory. Add $100 per month into these same three positions, keep reinvesting dividends, and by year 10, you are holding a portfolio worth approximately $23,000 to $25,000, generating over $800 annually in passive dividend income. That is not retirement, but it is a car payment. It is 2 months of groceries. It is the beginning of a real income layer that does not require your time to keep producing. Most beginners chase yield. They see a fund advertising 7 or 8% and move toward it instinctively. And I want to be honest with you about why that instinct, while understandable, usually leads to worse outcomes. High-yield funds, the ones promising 6, 7, 8%, are frequently achieving those yields by paying out more than they can sustainably earn. That is called a yield trap. The fund looks generous. The income looks impressive in year one, but the underlying assets erode, the share price declines over time, and the dividend eventually gets cut, leaving the investor with less income and less capital than when they started. The three-fund structure in this video, FXAIX, FDVV, FRIFX, is not optimized for the highest possible year one yield. It is optimized for the highest sustainable yield over a decade or more. That distinction is the difference between a portfolio that pays you for a few years and one that pays you indefinitely. Let us close the full loop on the number we opened with. $1,000 split roughly equally across FXAIX, FDVV, and FRIFX generates approximately $83 in combined annual dividend income, accounting for weighted yield across the three positions. In year one, reinvested consistently with no additional contributions, that same original $1,000 compounds to generate over $340 annually by year 10. The underlying portfolio value at that point sits between $2,200 and $2,500. That is a return on original capital of over 300% in income alone, not counting the portfolio's growth in value. The $1,000 you invested in year one is now an asset that generates more than a third of its original value every single year, automatically. Marcus made the move. He split his $1,000. He set dividends to reinvest automatically. He did not touch it. He did not panic when markets dipped in month 4. He did not sell when a friend told him he should put everything into a single high-yield fund because it was paying 8%. What he told me, or rather what this version of Marcus represents, is that the psychological shift came before the financial shift. The moment he had assets paying him, even a small amount, he started seeing money differently. He stopped thinking about his paycheck as the ceiling of his income. He started thinking about it as the floor, and the dividend portfolio as the structure he was quietly building above it. That shift is the whole point. Earlier I told you to hold the question of which fund does the most work over the long run. Here is the answer. It is FRIFX, the Real Estate Income Fund. Not because it has the highest yield and not because it grows the fastest, but because it provides the one thing the other two do not. Income that is structurally decoupled from pure equity market volatility. During the years when markets correct, when FXAIX pulls back, and FDVV's holdings trim their payouts, FRIFX tends to hold its distribution steady. That means your total portfolio income floor stays supported even through a rough market year. For a beginner investor who is still learning to stay the course during volatility, that stability is not just financial. It is psychological. It is the thing that keeps you invested when the instinct to sell is loudest. And staying invested is the entire game. Now here's the question I know you are already asking. If $1,000 does this, what does $5,000 do in the same structure? The income, the compounding curve, the year 10 number? It changes dramatically, and not just proportionally. There are specific Fidelity funds that only start becoming meaningful at the $5,000 level. Funds I did not cover here because they are not the right starting point for a beginner. But if you are ready to see what the $5,000 version of this blueprint looks like, I just published that full breakdown. It is called, What If You Invest $5,000 in the 3 Best Fidelity Dividend Stocks? And you can find it right here. youtube.com/watch V equals 8S-M26YHBHI. Watch that next. The gap between what 1,000 produces and what 5,000 produces over 10 years is not what most people expect. This video is one piece of a larger income-building system I am working through, starting with entry-level positions like this one, moving through the mid-tier $5,000 structures, and eventually mapping out what a full dividend income portfolio looks like at scale. Each video in this series builds on the last. If you want to follow the whole blueprint from here, subscribe. Because the next video in this sequence is already built and dropping shortly, and missing it means starting the next piece without the foundation we just laid. Here's the question I want you to answer in the comments below. What is your current starting point? Are you at stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3? From the self-assessment we ran at the 4.5-minute mark. And what is the one thing that has stopped you from deploying a starting position like this before now? I read every reply, and I specifically build future videos around the most common answers I see. Tell me where you are,